What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have a wave of rumors to talk about. Now, that's what they are, just so everybody's kind of on the same page. Some of them are more significant, I think, than others, but quite a few. So we have a Scream 6 potentially teaser that's going to be released this month. We'll talk about that. We got another Nev thing. We also have another character profile, and we also have Stab's involvement, which I think is also pretty interesting. So 4 different things to get into. So let's kind of rifle through them and talk about my opinions. This comes from Clips Comprehend. This is the person that we've talked a lot about. And look, honestly, a lot of it ends up becoming, if they start to get a few of these things right? If some of these names of characters are right, if there is a teaser this month that this person said, the big thing this person is on is the Nev Campbell stuff, that this is a person that has been very heavily on, she is in the movie, she's at the end of the movie, and all that. And they double down on it again in this tweet thread kind of thing that we're going to read out. So important to note, if you think that they're an idiot, for believing Nev is coming back, then you probably don't want to trust anything else they say, right? Completely up to you what you believe and you don't believe, but pretty interesting set of rumors. So let's get into it. So first one is the teaser. Yes, a teaser is coming this month. The rumors about screenings are true. There's a very, very rough cut that's missing FX, score, etc. That will be shown to an extremely select few in November. Notes will be given then, and another cut will be shown before January 1st. The Nev situation, anything else you can give regarding Nev? I did see 2 rumors. I don't want to put them out there, but I've really said all I can say about it. I don't see it running more than 4 or so minutes, and she's not in New York. If Scream had to do with carpentry, the term joiner would come to mind when discussing Nev and this one. And in this account also goes on to say the other 2 rumors, those rumors they're talking about in the beginning, they're not true. So they kind of just threw that in there, that there's people talking about these 2 different rumors. With Nev, neither of them are true, and that was said later on. And then we also have Tony. Remember, they announced him along at the same time with Samara, and Tony is Gabriel T, no last name besides just the T. He's an RA, resident assistant at Blackmore. This is where he meets Chad early on. He's a nice, welcoming, helpful person, doesn't give creep vibes, and comes off very woke, wants to be a writer. And then somebody asked, does the movie make fun of him for being woke, or is the movie actually being woke? And then the Clips Comprehend said, small amount of humor, but it's not him being made fun of. I guess more just a commentary on it. Movie is not woke, doesn't take that route. And then the final one is those wondering if Stab plays a big part in this, and that's no. There's a nod to it that mimics the real-life reissue of Scream and the small theatrical run that we got during the lead-up to Scream, but Stab doesn't drive this whatsoever. So that last one's pretty interesting, but let's go in order that I read them. So let's start with the teaser. Very exciting if that's actually true. We had kind of heard this, right? We had heard, I think Viewer Anon maybe even said this, that November seems to be some sort of test screening, and now this is going to be a very closed doors, like only, the most in of in people are going to be able to watch it, and it is going to be a very rough cut. I believe they go on to say, like, it's simply to cut down scenes, like it's for feedback. They see what scenes people say, okay, you can get rid of those. It's trying to get their rating, right, the rating that they want out of it. So it's going to be a rough cut, but I mean, you're probably going to know quite a bit. So November really will be the kickoff to pretty serious leaks and rumors. Now, much like Scream 2022, if it's anything like that, the leaks and rumors are going to be all jokes. There's so many ending leaks, on Scream 2022 that turned out to not be true. Now, Viewer Anon kept dropping like actual things, and those turned out to be true. But the ones that were like giving these big plot summaries, like on Reddit, none of them ended up happening. Some got like relatively close, but when you have like 10 different, plot things, you're gonna hit one of them, right? And then when the trailer comes out, you're able to kind of ride the trailer plus pretend like you did see it in the rough cut, right? And kind of combine those 2 things together. And that is what happened. So, keep your eyes peeled / start to get worried, I guess, around November. But that October one, that's sweet. So we'll see what that October tease is. Obviously, we know there's still those like character profile pictures of them holding the knife that hasn't, released yet. So, and we've talked about that, right? I've been saying maybe that's what they could do. So hopefully we get that this month, unless they mean literal video, like a video teaser for it, which would be quite interesting. And it would kind of shock me because I just don't, I didn't see that coming. I thought, December for the trailer, and I didn't really think we would get any video. I thought maybe we would get, character profiles, the name of the movie, stuff like that. I thought we would get that October, November. Then we go to the Nev thing. So when you read, or at least when I read it the first time, it comes off very odd to me. So again, like kind of get rid of that first part, just kind of saying out there that there are rumors that this person believes are not true. Then they go on to say, under 4 minutes, and also she's not in New York. And then they had to do a carpentry definition with us. Now I had to look this up because one of my closest friends, his dad is a carpenter. He runs his own business, but I didn't know the definitions. So they talk about if Scream is carpentry, Sydney is or Nev is a joiner. So joiners are basically people that make the things. Joiners make the stuff that then carpenters install and fit into their into the framework, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know, like, to be honest, I have no idea how you like bring that over to Scream. So Scream is like fitting everything together and building it together, and a joiner is like a worker for a carpenter. They make the things. Maybe you guys, or a lot of you guys are definitely smarter than me, so maybe you guys can figure it out, because I really don't know. But beyond going insane, with that line of thinking, it is interesting because this person again continues to not even double down. I mean, at this point we're even past tripling down. We're like quadrupling down or more on this Nev thing again. And I've said this before, like that's the biggest thing, right? If she's not, and I guess that one we won't know till the movie comes out. There's no way they're gonna like actively say she's in it until people get to see it, whether it's a week or two early or whatever. That's when we would find out if the biggest crux of this person being an insider is actually right. Now, as I've said, if they start to get these things right, if these characters start to have the names that this person just is continuing to drop, actor versus the name of the character in the movie, if they get them all right, I mean, they obviously know their stuff. Nobody else is saying the names. You know what I mean? There was the leak online, but none of them had last names. This person is giving last names. This person is giving descriptions. So if we see the trailer and the characters are the descriptions that we've got, this person knows what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I generally believe clips comprehend, but that's the big domino, that if the trailer comes out and these characters do have these names and they are the people that have been described, well, Sydney's in it. Sydney, and I believe Sydney is in the movie just because this person is so hell-bent on going down with the ship that if she's not in it, this person's doomed. Because really, I mean, this person would be completely screwed if Sydney is not in this movie, because that's like the biggest thing that this person's talked about. But hey, 4 minutes, which is a lot. I think for a cameo, we often think she answers the phone and it's like, hello, Sydney, or maybe no voice at all. But like, that's not 4 minutes at all, not even close. So it could be a much more direct setup where it's like a bigger scene and you see her actively, in the scene, and then it ends. It could be more that than just a quick, like an end credit scene where, you literally just see her, she's talking on the phone and another call comes in and she presses it. And like, that's like a 30-second thing. So under 4 minutes, I mean, I guess that could be 30 seconds, right? But that makes me think like several minutes long, which is not, the scenario that we've thought of her. So just something interesting, obviously, there. Then we go to the Tony thing. So this one's interesting. I like this actor. I like him as Flash in Spider-Man. I don't think he's like the strongest Flash that we've gotten out of all the Spider-Man movies, but he's fine. He's fine. And I do think he'll be pretty solid in this movie. Remember, we know that I believe he's never seen a Scream movie. He was also convinced by Mason Gooding to join this film. Now, what's interesting about that is you know, if we go based off this character thing, he'll be friends with Chad. So, to be honest with you, I don't think this will be a character that means much. We got like a description for Samara a few days ago that she's simply an actress. That she, you know, that she's an actress, and that's it. Like, nothing else we know about her. But I mean, that's an okay amount of knowledge. And same thing with Tony. Like, we know he's a writer. The woke thing. Now, that obviously goes into a whole, you know, thing. I don't want to get too far into it. My stance on it is simply when I think of woke in a negative, I think of purposely doing these things for an agenda and making it like bigger than the movie. The entire movie becomes about a message. The entire movie becomes about something politically, like online, or to, you know, again, well, sending a message probably is the best way of saying it, right? So that's what I think of when I think of it negatively. I'm not a fan of that. I absolutely not of that. I have no problem with diversity in movies or anything like that. And these movies are pretty darn diverse. Specifically, you know, I think Scream 5 pretty diverse. So, you know, and what we've heard is fine, right? They'll lean into it, kind of do a commentary. Maybe he'll be a writer that wants to do kind of woke stuff, and maybe they'll even poke at it a bit and say like, well, hey, you can have diversity without preaching to people, and that's kind of like the main crux of people that are against it. But we'll see how they understand it, right? Because these Hollywood people, they don't exactly see things the way that the normal consumers, they're far removed from that. So we'll see how that goes. But Clips Comprehend saying the movie is not woke, you know, again, woke in a bad way, that's great. That's great. I honestly don't even see woke in like a because woke positively is just you're a diverse film. You're a naturally diverse film. That's completely fine. And that really was, for the most part, maybe even completely, Scream 5. It had cast members of all different things. It didn't discriminate. It didn't do nothing, and it was completely fine. And that's not woke. That's being completely fine. You know what I mean? So it being woke would mean, hey, we're going to shove a message down your throat, and we're going to do this purposely and stuff like that. And I'm glad to hear, you know, it's not doing it. And then finally, that stab thing. Man, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting about that stab thing, because I think a lot of people expect like the play, you know, in like the theater to be a stab, and that's like the first thing that came out at me is I don't think that can happen anymore. I don't think, like, you know, all these talk of the theater scenes and all this stuff, I don't think they're recreating or bringing stab to like the theater, like the, you know, acting it. I don't think that's gonna happen, simply because they say that it's not, you know, like a driving force, and they go on beyond that. It's not just not a driving force, but it's also really not anything. The only thing is I assume what they meant was, when they say like the limited run, they meant the anniversary. So when Scream 1 came out last year for the 25th anniversary for like a 2-day event, that's what Stab is doing, which, you know, could still be impactful because it could still be happening around the same time as this movie, and it will. But again, if the rumors are true, this movie takes place, I believe, over a month-and-a-half period. So this happening over like 2 days isn't too big of a deal. So that's still cool. Like, I like that. You know, like Stab, it's coming back. It's not like a remake or a remaster or anything. Well, maybe a remaster, right? But it's coming back, and it's on like a limited run to celebrate the anniversary. And that's cool. That's another meta-ness thing that they really haven't, you know, done. I mean, there's been like anniversaries. Like, this is the anniversary of this event happening, and they've said that in the movie. But this would just kind of be a little bit different, right? A little bit more meta still. So that's everything. So let me know what you guys think in the comments on any of these 4, you know, rumors that we heard. You know, and again, they don't have to be true. They're fun to talk about whether they're true or not. So let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. I hope to see you all on the next one.